the Oregon mountains to all the Mesilla Valley, reaching all of New Mexico. Broadcasting live from the Las Cruces studios, bringing you the issues that matter and the topics that count. Telling it like it is. It's the Mike Tellez Show. And now here's your host, Mike Tellez.
Thank you for joining me with the Mike Tellez Show today. My name is Mike Tellez. We are coming to you from the beautiful Las Cruces Channel Studios in downtown Las Cruces. I've got a special guest here today. It is what I would say is the very best sister-in-law a person could ever be blessed with. Amy McVay Tellez. Amy, today's a special day, right?
It's a special day.
Okay. You, in fact, 1 year ago today?
A year ago today, you were marrying myself and your brother.
That's right. In fact, I got a call. I said, Mike, be over here to this tomorrow at this time, and yeah.
And God told us it was time.
Beautiful Glencoe,
and you showed
top
up.
of a mountain.
Beautiful, yes.
Wow. Well, it's sure good to have you here from Roswell, New Mexico. You've run the Historical Society Museum in Roswell.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place. I love it. I grew up around it. I remember walking past it when it was a residence.
Right, right. Beautiful.
Way back when. I'm not going to say when, but it's been a while.
Just a couple of years ago.
But you've been busy there, and you've done a lot.
We've done a lot. We've done a lot. You know, through COVID and unique circumstances, we live by the motto: we're not going to talk about what we can't do. We're going to talk about what we can do.
I like that motto.
And we've been continuing to press forward and think out of the box and doing fundraising and just celebrating the rich history.
You're absolutely it with fundraising. I couldn't wait till you moved to Las Cruces. You were going to run my whole world here.
Well,
but you've done a lot. You've done real well with fundraising. You've got the pickup during the COVID.
Right.
You had them drive through and pick up the mail.
We knew one thing. We knew during COVID what was thriving, and I love to see what is thriving. You know, during challenging times, what is thriving? Well, we knew drive-thrus were thriving. So during COVID, when there was no fundraising, we developed an opportunity through fundraising for them to drive through, pick up tickets, go drive through a wonderful restaurant, Pepper's Grill and Bar.
Yeah, I love
that's
that
been
place.
there for many years, and they would pick up their food and they would go home and celebrate, dress up the table, and do a lot of fun things.
Yeah.
And it was a golden opportunity for them to get food. It helped Peppers during those unique times when so many restaurants. And so it was a wonderful way. As a matter of fact, we're having some challenging times right now. I think we're going to do it again. It's been very, very successful.
That is awesome. That is great. So right now, you've just got through the UFO Festival.
UFO Festival.
And
very, you know, for many years, and it continues during COVID. Last year was a little bit challenging, but Roswell perseveres. You know, I'm proud of the city of Roswell and Main Street Roswell, and from our mayor to the sheriff. We just are really trying to celebrate that wonderful town. So yes, there were thousands of people during the Independence Day in Roswell, New Mexico. So we had a great audience. A lot of people there, a lot of people celebrating. We had hundreds of people at the museum. And you know one thing, Mike, I know we've talked about, we've gone through so much together, Mike, but one thing, Roswell's one of the top 10 most identifiable cities in the world, known for one thing.
The aliens and UFOs.
So you know me, I'm challenged to celebrate so many other things. You growing up and Ralph and so many, from the art culture to so many other very unique things, from our air base to so many other things. So there at the Historical Society, we love to talk about history.
We will trade you that UFO tourism, and we'll bring it over here anytime.
That's right.
You know, we grew up around that. My mother, she swore that she saw craft in the 40s, and so we kind of grew up with it, and, you know, I never quite believed it or grasped it, but obviously some people have seen it, but it does draw a lot of people to Roswell.
It's fascinating to me.
People are just fascinated by that.
They are from all over the world.
And they go from all over the place.
And Mike, you know, even Ralph and I, it was so interesting. We'll go downtown Roswell and you'll see, you know, we can count 10, 20, 30. I mean, so many different, whether it's from Mexico, from other countries, to other states, so many travel all over the world. So we're thankful in Roswell for what it's done. I know thinking about even when you grew up, how many motels and restaurants and everything we have today, thanks to the tourism. So we're very blessed.
And so tourism's way up.
Yes, yes. And we're getting there, you know, and slowly but surely, I know through Roswell, we work well together. You and I mean, we know my heart is to work together, and we do everything it takes to celebrate Roswell.
That's excellent. Well, you know what? I tip my hat because you have done so much for Roswell to promote it. And,
well, it's worth it.
well, I'm on the other side of the state where I am pushing for Las Cruces to be a great city. I look for a day that this can be an all-American city, but right now we've got a crime problem here and drugs. I've been talking about homeless here, and you know, they're everywhere. I mean, you're starting to see them popping up all over old Las Cruces, which is this side of the freeway, the worn-down Las Cruces, not the new one where all the money goes, but the older one. And I've gone to Roswell, and you know, I haven't seen the tents all over downtown Main Street. I've not seen that big of a problem there.
Well, and you know, even as we're a public entity, our museum is a public entity, and you know, we see that. And I know we as a community have done a lot to work on that issue. And you know, I'm not, you know, I'm always working with the city, and it seems like I'm in my little bubble, you know, trying to help things. But we see, and I know we're challenged with crime issues and
there's got to be
things.
a little bit,
right?
But I did not see. You know, I did not have people going up to the car window everywhere I went there. So you know, it looks like it is something that has not gotten out of control, such as Las Cruces. You know that I went to Albuquerque. It is totally out of control there. Las Cruces, it is getting to the point of no return right now, and I've been talking about it. I've been out interviewing the homeless people to see what's going on, and it's drugs. They like that fentanyl, they like those blues, they like that meth, and they don't want to go anywhere. They just want to stay right there and get high. And you know, our crime, that's what I'm talking a little bit about, our crime over here. And you know, there's some stats he's going to show you that it's amazing how our crime has gone up from February of 2020 to February 2021 robbery. Look at that, up 200%. Assault, 87%. Burglary, 136%. Car theft, 141%. Those are increases. Now, they did say the good part is residential burglary was down. Well, you know what? In 2020, everyone stayed home. So you're not going to break into the house when everybody's still at the house. And they say part of it is because of COVID. Well, you know, the people I see out there that have told me, I will go to Walmart, I will do whatever it takes to hustle up enough money to buy me some blues. They're about $10 tablet. So they said they'll steal anything. Well, these are the same people who weren't working before 2020, and they're still not working. And, you know, our crime it's amazing. How many times could we go up 200% or something before it just starts getting out of control? Now, in this, we've got districts here, like any town. You got your good side, you got your bad town, and I understand that. But, you know, it's expanding. I would say a good portion of our city, from the university area, those apartments there, all the way up through the Dream Center area, it's plagued. It's plagued. There's hardly anywhere you can go down in that area that somebody doesn't come up and start trying to bum money off of you or ask you for help. Well, I got down and I started talking to those guys and started asking them. I said, you know, what do you need? What are you looking for? I said, you know what, I use a few dollars. I've seen kids that are probably 20 years old going up there trying to get extra change. But our crime problem here is just crazy. It is getting terrible down here. And, you know, that has been my fight. That's been my battle. And, you know, Roswell was an all-American city at one time. I remember that. And when I saw Roswell become an all-American city, it stuck with me. Because I said, you know what? We live in an all-American city. I came down here, and as long as I've been here, I've been saying, I would love to see Las Cruces an all-American city. Because you know what that did for Roswell? It's just brought pride in the city. People just felt better about the city and started, you know, I can't believe how clean it is. I mean, it is clean. I don't see trash and I don't see stuff all over. You know, I didn't see no shopping carts either. Here, you will see hundreds of shopping carts all throughout, but I don't see the shopping carts down there, and I don't see the piles all over. So, credit to Roswell, even though there are some problems with their crime, but you know what? They are on top of keeping that stuff off the streets.
Well, and I'm part of Leadership Roswell and a lot of different civic organizations, even through Character Counts. I'm the president of Character Counts. And one thing I have found, again, that's worked or successful is even through our Leadership Roswell program is pushing community involvement. And you know, we're as good in our communities as our weakest links, right?
Right.
And so the more we can encourage our leaders to get involved in our civic organizations. For example, as I'm with Leadership Roswell and as I'm with Character Counts, we're cleaning up together. We have those months. We're cleaning up. We just did that. And in celebration of Judge Alvin Jones that we lost, we had a cleanup day. And I think there's so many. We have wonderful Make Roswell Beautiful and wonderful different organizations that are striving to do that. Mm-hmm. And they take pride in it, and they take pride as a family. So you as a family are going to go and you're going to clean up, and you're going to see the significance as a child. You know what I mean?
And so you have the city council people involved in this?
Absolutely, but there are some wonderful, and please forgive me, and anytime he'll be showing my email address to affirm these specific names. But it's Keep Roswell Beautiful and Chaves County Keep Roswell Beautiful, I believe, that have worked with the city to really take pride. And you know, we adopt certain areas, and I'm not familiar with your community and how we do that, but we take pride in those areas, and through those civic organizations, we clean up those areas.
How is the turnout? Do you have a good turnout?
Very good turnout.
So
and
the community gets
absolutely.
involved?
For example, when we, through Character Counts, we sponsored a particular where he lost his life. We Mike, right when you're leaving Roswell, headed to Ruidoso in that area, we adopted that whole area. And I think we had, through some schools, and I just made calls. You know, at the end of the day, and I've been with you, we've made calls together, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
We've called, though, and we called, and we had 30 to 40 people. We gave our morning, and I believe we had over 100 bags. So in a couple of hours, 30 to 40 people, we had the huge extent of hundreds of bags. Giving a couple hours of your time, it didn't cost us anything, and we had families. Well, you know now, Mike, when after we've cleaned up and we're driving through, I'm not only taking pride for that area that we invested our time, but it creates an awareness of how valuable just being prideful of your community and working together. You've bought in, and your children, or whether it's our grandchildren, or you know, whatever. My grandson, he takes pride in that now, and I think that's important. You know, we can talk so much about things, but you know me, as I've been with you, how many times, Mike, I come to visit Mike, and together we're going to take action together, and we're going to do something.
And I like the way that, you know, you're continuously on the leadership, you're continuously talking about it, you're always thinking of ways to improve the city you live in.
Well, that's so important, and at the Historical Society we believe in one thing. Some may not have time. But they may have additional funding opportunities. Some don't have additional funding opportunities, but they have time. And with those two things, to me, in my personal opinion, no matter if I'm celebrating character or I'm taking pride in my city, those two things, whether it's pennies collected. You know, I appreciate the dollar we get at the Historical Society, and I appreciate the $1,000. But now we have $1,001, just the same. But people, I think now more than ever through COVID, what I've seen is Ralph and I, your brother, we call it COVID-itis, or this angst, or this hostility. You know, we've been locked up. But I'm just driven by a hope, and if you've if you see something like you've been doing, you're driving through and you're seeing these needs, know you can make a difference, whether it's through $1 or 1 hour, to get involved in something. And if you are cleaning up areas more, isn't that a likelihood that less individuals may be apt to do things?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Just
right.
doing those things. We adopted that highway to honor the life of Judge Alvin Jones. When I left that day, there was many people that had worked together, developed relationships, agreed we would work together again, and it was all ages. We were all from all backgrounds, but I just challenge people right now. We're so divisive. Come together.
Yeah, let's come together.
Come together. What do you have to offer this table?
Let's lay everything down,
Yes,
and let's
lay
make a
it down.
difference in the city we live in.
Because you and I sit across, and we're so different, but yet our relationship is developed. We're ultimately the same. We agree in that one most important thing, which is our Heavenly Father. And I just am challenged, and I know there's nothing you and I couldn't do working together.
Right.
And I wish individuals would see that more.
Yeah.
Get over that. Whatever, we've gone through hard times, but I see there's hope. There's always hope if we believe in.
Get over it and get on
Move
with it.
and let's
You
do
bet.
something together.
And so you all have got the community is getting real involved in keeping Roswell clean.
And I would be remiss to sit here and say we don't have challenges. I'm driven in Roswell by that north and south issue. We educate individuals. We want to promote. We have Mike. We'll showcase our history to about 1,000 fourth graders. All backgrounds, all schools.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me where you're from. It matters to me that we all come together.
Yep.
That's what's most important.
Yeah, and I'm a Roswell Goddard, so I would be the north side of the equation there.
But together we're red, white, and blue.
That's right. We're all the same.
We are. We are all
And
the same.
so I'd like to see us put something together in our city to where it's automatic to pick something up if you see it on the ground. If you see something that needs to be thrown away, throw it away. I've even had an idea. I've studied Japan Japan is rated as the cleanest country in the world. That's cleanest. So I said, well, what are some of the things they do? When they have an event, say an athletic football game, anything like where people gather, when they walk in, they take a bag at the gate, and that bag, they say, when you come back, I want everything you brought in that bag and in that trash can. Imagine if we started, at any event, a parade. Here, take a bag. Any trash you brought in, you put in that bag and dispose of it. And start cleaning up after ourselves. Instead of leaving it thrown all over the streets. You go around Valley, I'd stop and start looking at what exactly is here. And I see really nice sleeping bags that people have donated. Real nice stuff donated that's just abandoned on the sides of the streets, carts everywhere, and I see people sleeping everywhere. And I think that if people would just start taking care of the neighborhood they live in, even just once a month, walk around and pick up trash and meet people. I think that would make a big difference. I'm fighting my life to make a difference in this community, and I'm not going to stop until I do. When we come back, we're going to go over a few more ideas we can have to make Las Cruces great. We're talking to Amy McVay Tellez from Roswell. We'll be right back with the Mike Tellez Show. My name is Mike Tellez.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. That's 866-372-3669.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Do you suffer from rashes, dryness, flakiness, and thickness to the skin? 3A Research is conducting a trial of an investigational drug on plaque psoriasis. Subjects must be 18 years of age or older. This is an 8-week study. We will compensate you for your time and travel up to $225.
Enrolling participants now in Las Cruces. Contact our office at 575-288-1646 or visit our Facebook page at 3A Research or our website 3asites.com.
Welcome back to the Mike Tellez Show. My name is Mike Tellez. I am here with Amy McVay Tellez. Amy, so we've been talking about things we can do, things that to help the city look better, maybe take more pride in the city. I think that on the homeless front, you know, I've talked to these guys, and oh my goodness, they do not want help. I've interviewed 2 programs here that have literally gone into the streets and told them, we can give you a place to stay, we can help you get clothes, whatever you need, and they were not interested in doing that. And it's tough because what we found with one of the kids I interviewed, one of the people, he told us about the drug problem, the blues, and how those drugs just take you over. And until we can find a way to take care of that, get rid of that. And I believe it's hard to say that we can eliminate a problem. I hate saying control it because that means we're allowing it to exist, but something has got to be done about drugs and blues and meth, and every city's affected by that. Everyone, there's not a person I know that doesn't have someone in the family somewhere that hasn't devastated the family with drugs. Yes. And it is just destroying our kids, destroying our society, destroying it. It's just destroying it. And I think we have got to get, we've got to stand behind the law enforcement, number one. Yes. We need to put back our officers. You know that nationwide there's a problem hiring policemen. So we're short-staffed here in Las Cruces, and you know the article I was reading about the crime stats, he said they're way down. They're offering incentives, great incentives. I mean, a $10,000 bonus, $15,000 for degrees, and it goes all the way PhD, $20,000 bonus. I mean, they are doing whatever they can to get their staff up. We need tough, no matter what we think, we need tough law enforcement.
Yes.
Like,
and honoring those who serve.
Yeah, and be respectful to them. Yes. Wasn't your dad or you had family members that were in law enforcement?
My ex-husband's family, aunts, uncles, father, and they've all been
could you imagine someone being able to walk up and spit in his face and him not be able to do anything?
Well, and my ex-husband, he was a police officer, and we had those particular incidences that he had dealt with those things. And, he was born and raised in Roswell, wanted to stay in Roswell. And, when he would come home, yes, it takes a toll. Yes.
It takes a massive toll.
It does.
And now I see them throwing things at him.
Right.
But
I never dreamed we would come to that.
I didn't either. We would have got beat up when we were kids. I mean, you did not mess with police. You didn't even look at them.
I can't imagine. And I know there's good and there's bad and all things, but I know that we do need to honor those who serve.
We need to honor the policemen. We need to do whatever we can to back them up.
Yes.
You were telling me how wonderful the sheriff is in Roswell.
Yes.
You got a good sheriff.
Yes, yes.
That to have somebody speaking well of a sheriff or a chief or something, that's pretty good.
Well, and I think it's so important. No matter, and if you say, well, how does I live in Las Cruces. How does that affect me? I haven't had to deal with them. You need to support your community leaders.
You bet. You got to know who they are.
And for example, our sheriff, Sheriff Harrington in Roswell, we'll call him the Historical Society, and he wants to be involved. He wants to be involved, and he's got a 24/7. and you give me a call. Those are things that we as a community, our involvement and our support, whether it's your educators, whether it's all your community leaders, giving them a moment.
It's a good idea to maybe know who they are.
Well, and we were speaking just yesterday, you know, I'm an advocate to be involved with your schools and those parent programs. Don't let that only time you're going to the school is when your child's getting in trouble.
And then
Get
they're
involved
taking,
with your community.
do you all have policemen in your old schools?
Yes, yes.
You know, I
yes.
believe they're taking them out here.
And I'm not familiar, you know, your brother, Ralph.
In Las Cruces.
Right, oh, I see,
And,
I see.
oh my goodness, I just think that, you know, there's just other ways to do things, and I'm just lost for how to approach some of these issues like this. Drugs, the blues. You know, the crime rate, it is safer to live in Sunland Park than it is Las Cruces. It's safer to live in Anthony than it is Las Cruces. And I'm just trying to say, what in the world, what is going on here? I mean, we need to, it'd be nice to find a way to where we feel safe in our city, and I'm just trying my best to figure out a way to think of a way to attack this drug problem. Well, and it is hitting everywhere. It's everywhere.
Well, and I can't thank you enough, Mike. I know I've been coming to Las Cruces for over 15 years. Your brother and I have been together for 15 years, and I was thinking of all the many things we've done together over the years, whether it's serving in Anthony, whether it's serving in the Dream Center. And Mike, I want to thank you for taking the time to maybe discussing the things that people, you know, you and I have talked about that a lot. You're discussing things people don't want to talk about.
Right.
But we're not doing our community any service by not talking about them, and we need to be heard, and we need to know. I know one thing: if individuals reached out to you, whether they disagree or they agree, together you could do something. And anything, you know. You and I talked right before we got on, and what is it? And I've lived by it. Is ordinary people can do extraordinary things.
That's
you
right.
you have a wonderful community, and I can't wait to come be a part of it. But extraordinary things can be done, and I want to thank you for talking about these hard conversations that people don't want to talk about. We're not doing any good not talking about.
You know that we're not going to stop.
Right.
We'll keep going forward. We have got the programs at the Dream Center where I'm looking forward to teaching kids how to work on their car, change their oil. We're going to have like a hobby shop to where they can learn how to work on their cars. And I'm looking forward to working with them, and everything in my world goes into that. I own nothing except what I do every day. And on the bright side of things, Ariana Carrasco won a gold medal at the Junior Olympics, National Junior Olympics.
And I need to look in this camera and say, you go, girl. I'm impressed.
She is
That's
tough.
amazing.
I'm so proud of the girls there.
Yes.
Ariana, Gabby, all of those girls work so hard to be great. And you know it can happen.
Those are ordinary, dynamic girls doing extraordinary
That's
things
exactly
from Las
right.
Cruces.
And you know, we'll see her in the Olympics in years to come.
And I want to challenge other people listening.
Exactly.
You can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible if we just give it a, you know, 1 hour is 1% of your time. Donate 1 hour today to making your community a better place to live. My name is Mike Tellez. I want to thank you for joining us today on the Mike Tellez Show.